UFC 260 full fight card recap. Talk about the bouts, what I thought of them. We'll quickly run through the undercard because I do want to move it more towards the bigger fights on the main card. First fight, Marc-Andre Barriault gets a late stoppage of Abu Azaitar. Azaitar was not happy about that. Correct pick there also. Very good performance by Barriault. Omar Morales defeats Shane Young. Another good one. Morales looked on the money there, and he's developing very nicely. I'm happy to see him doing well at featherweight. The next fight, Michael Oleksiejczuk defeats Modestas Bauskas by a split decision. Modestas and Oleksiejczuk outside of the top 15, but fun guys to watch. We'll see what happens with Oleksiejczuk next. Abakubar Nurmagomedov defeats Jared Gordon. Good win for him, getting himself some momentum in the UFC now. Alonzo Menfield and Fabio Sharan quickly tapped him out. A very good performance by Menfield. This really pushes him up in the light heavyweight division once again. We'll actually go a little bit deeper in this fight and talk about what could potentially be next for Menfield. Pull up the light heavyweight rankings in 1 second. We'll pull up Alonzo. Obviously not the most accurate because it's worldwide. It's not just UFC. He was ranked 24, I believe. Menfield is here. Recently lost to Devin Clark. Some names here. I mean, I don't know if Shogun's going to be coming back. I don't think that'd probably be a fight that they would do anyways because the name is not huge. You could see maybe Kutelaba if he beats Clark, even though the recent loss to Clark for Alonzo Menfield. A lot of guys are booked. Wait it out. I don't think Misha Surkanov would be the fight, but maybe something like that, even though he's coming off of a brutal loss. I guess we'll see in the meantime. A lot of potential options, but nothing that really stands out right now looking at the screen there. For Fabio Sharan, he got himself in the UFC. It's still a good mark. I mean, bad loss, but can definitely bounce back. The kid's still very skilled. Jamie Malarkey quickly put out Kama Worthy. It was brutal. It was bad. Kama Worthy, I'm not saying he doesn't have a chin, but he might not anymore. He's 34 in the lightweight division. Brutal loss. Jamie Malarkey moves up with a big win over Kama Worthy. I think he's somebody to keep an eye on. Fun guy to watch. Decision with Volkanovski. Now they train together and are like best friends. Pretty crazy there, and honestly really good for him though, because he's definitely improved drastically. Miranda Maverick defeats Jillian Roberson. There's a different level on the feet. Robertson was good as far as the grappling goes. I thought it was a 29-28 on the ground. She did have some good control in that second round, but Maverick overwhelmed her. Good control from the top at times as well. Really good at getting out of submissions. Nothing really threatening for Robertson. Miranda Maverick gets the win, and I think she's a girl to definitely keep an eye on. Could be moving towards the top of the women's 125-pound class. Sean O'Malley, Thomas Almeida. You look at O'Malley's performance, I think pretty good. I was impressed. Could have had the knockout in the first round, choose to walk away. And then next thing you know it, Almeida, tough as nails, recovers. Bad loss as far as Almeida's record goes because he's taken a good amount of defeats in a row now. I believe this is his fourth straight. Sean O'Malley, though, excellent performance. Good knockout win. He's got great striking. Tapology's ranking of him has him at 16. Obviously not going to be fully accurate, but you look at some potential names who's around him. I mean, that Kyler Matrix Phillips fight could be a lot of fun. Both are very good strikers, hot prospects, 9-1, 13-1. I'm not opposed to it. Depends if they want to take it slower with O'Malley or not. What they're really looking to do here, I don't know. I don't think they're going to bring him back to like these guys here. For me, the fight that makes sense would probably be a Kyler Phillips fight. I think that could be a lot of fun, but they might move him up bigger than that because he does have a heavy name value. I don't know. We'll see. If something crazy, maybe they give him like a Marlon Moraes coming off some bad losses, but I think that's unlikely. He still needs some work. I prefer maybe finding a prospect like Phillips or somebody back in the rankings that isn't really worth noting at the moment. Overall, though, good performance by Sugar Sean O'Malley, developing nicely, taking his time, but he's getting there. Luque versus Woodley was a hell of a dogfight. Woodley looked really good. He came out strong, definitely showed activity, hit Luque with some big strikes, but got over-aggressive, got caught himself, got dropped, and then got tapped out. Great performance by Luque. He emerges as a top guy. First round finish of Tyron Woodley by submission, too. That's an excellent win for his resume. I mean, that's the best I've ever seen anybody beat Tyron Woodley. Huge win for Woodley. Very tough loss. Might be released from the UFC. Might see him over in Bellator, maybe PFL, maybe one. I'm really leaning Bellator, though. I still think he's got skills. I still think he's a threat to a lot of people. He just needs to get it together, and he got caught here. I thought he looked pretty good. I'll be honest, I'm giving Woodley the benefit of the doubt. I think he still has a career in front of him in MMA, but might not be in the UFC. He's got at least 2 years left, I feel, until he's probably 41. If he really wants to do it, I think he could, but he may retire. We'll see. Vicente Luque looked very good. He looks like a contender. He's somebody to keep an eye on. Good defense with the wrestling as well. Quickly pull up the rankings there. Can maybe get him a match with Woodley. Might not be in the UFC in the next couple weeks because I did hear he'd potentially be getting cut if he lost. So you beat Tyron Woodley, who was a top guy. Luque Chiesa is not a fight that I actually mind at all. He's probably not going to want to fight his boy Derhinho Burns. And I don't think Colby Covington gives him a fight, but I would like Covington versus Luque. I wouldn't be opposed to that. Maybe Rocky Edwards, but do they want to keep Rocky Edwards out with a smaller fight? Probably not. I think the fight to make is probably Chiesa. I think that's more realistic. Somebody they probably go with. They go in a different direction and gave him Colby Covington. I wouldn't be disappointed by that. I'd actually like to see how that matchup goes. Definitely would lean Covington, but Luque's pretty good, man. And he's only lost recently to Wonder Boy, who's an absolute killer. But Woodley might be seeing him in Bellator. We're going to find out in the next few weeks. Francis Ngannou with the biggest win of his life. I was so impressed. The striking was beautiful. The patience, the takedown defense, the ground and pound, the takedown he landed himself. Real deal. Francis Ngannou is special. He is a monster of a human being. 263 pounds shredded. Beat Stipe Miocic. He's now the #1 guy in the heavyweight division. He's the world champion, as he said years ago he dreamed to accomplish in Cameroon. His story is crazy. If you haven't heard it, I suggest you listen to it on the Joe Rogan podcast. Francis Ngannou has one of the greatest stories ever. Very, very much struggle. And to make it to where he is now is beautiful. God bless Francis Ngannou. Excellent fighter. I think the John Jones fight is probably what's next. And I think that's a lot of fun. And I think Francis Ngannou probably beats John Jones. For Stipe, wait it out. See what happens between Francis and Jones if he wants to keep fighting. If not, he could call it a career. He's had an excellent one. And there'd be no shame in that. But I do believe the competitor in Stipe will want to run it back with Francis. We'll see. Maybe the Jones fight doesn't happen and we see a trilogy between these guys. Either way, I would not be disappointed. Excellent night of fights. Was so much fun. Honestly, great card. Amazing finishes. The main event was just an awesome cherry on top. Thank you guys all so much for watching this video. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Also, guys, follow my social media. Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And I'll see you all in the next video.